Thanks to everyone for joining us. Today we're going to be working on making a professional page for Chris, and we invite you to kind of follow along and create your own professional page while we do this. First off, I just kind of wanted to give a little information on why it's important to make a professional page, although you're all already here, so I think that you probably understand this. The difference between a professional page and a personal page: professional page, you're more publicly searchable. You also are able to keep your personal life a little more private. You can gain followers through likes versus friends, and you also get a whole bunch of extra insight abilities. So you're able to boost posts, and you can kind of look at analytics to see how your different posts are doing, so you can better accommodate your audience. Chris has agreed to be our little guinea pig right here. So you see I'm sharing my screen, and we're looking at Chris's personal page, which is the page that he's been using when he's posting for all of his layer stuff. It is helpful to have a business page when you're doing this kind of stuff. That way we're not seeing all of his personal information.
Well, let's not jab me through this, okay? I mean, I feel like you're just
you agreed to be our guinea pig, so we're gonna go for it.
You will see nothing political.
Yeah, and you did a really nice job when we had our team meeting, kind of talking about how your opinions may turn off certain audiences. So it's nice to make your personal page private, and then you keep your audience separate.
Absolutely.
From your potential customers. So we're going to go and create a page for him. And I invite you all to log into your Facebook right now, kind of pull it up, and you're going to see on the left sidebar, hopefully you're on a computer, we've got this little pages button. If you already have a page going, just kind of sit with me right now. We're going to get to all the little nitty-gritty details, and Facebook's always changing and adding new options. So it's nice to go through this every once in a while. So if you're a little ahead of the game, that's totally fine. You're going to catch up in a minute, and let's go through and make sure you have all these line items filled out correctly.
So Dom, I have a question.
Yes.
So let's say I made a Facebook page a really long time ago and kind of forgot. How do I know that I made a page before?
Yeah,
where would I find it?
You should be able to see it right here on this bar. So a professional page is always connected to your personal page. You see that I'm under my personal page right here, but you can see all of my different professional pages all listed down here. So if you already have one, you can click on it to start editing it, or you can start a new one and delete the previous one, depending on how you're feeling about it. So we're going to create a new page for Chris, and Facebook kind of gives you this left sidebar where you're going to type all the information in, and then this big right part over here is where it's all going to start showing up. One thing to think about while we're doing this is what you want your name to be. You want it to kind of be the same through all of your platforms to make you more searchable. So if you have a longer name, maybe like Christopher or Dominique, consider if you're going to use your entire name or if you're going to use your nickname. Maybe also consider having that on all platforms. So having it on your website, having the same one on your MLS, that way your customers will be more searchable. So Chris, would you like to be Chris or Christopher?
Chris works, thanks.
And I know that on your personal page, you put your middle name, but would you like to have your middle name?
Chris Barrett is good for this, thanks.
And when we're making this page, we can always in the future change this name information. But once more, to make yourself more searchable, it's helpful to attach what you're doing to it. So Layer Realty would be a nice way to put it. You could, sometimes people put little dashes and commas in here, but I find when I'm trying to tag things, that kind of ruins the tag. So I think that it's helpful to not put those little bits in because it'll make it more difficult for people to search you. So what do we think about this? Layer Realty Partners, or do you just want Layer Realty? Pretty good?
Yeah, that looks awesome.
All right. And your category, we can type this in. We can do, you think real estate or real estate agent?
I think real estate would be good.
Yeah. And perhaps if you're not Chris, you would want to be real estate agent. Your short description, this is kind of something that maybe you want to take some time to do and go through and make sure that it is on all platforms. I did take advantage of your LinkedIn description, Chris. So I don't know if you want me to type that up and we can consider editing it, or if you have something in mind.
Yes, I think.
Oh, right. So it says you're an experienced team leader with a demonstrated history of success working in the real estate industry. Notice I have this wonderful program that Sergio told me about called Grammarly.
Oh, it's the best. Everybody should have it. Yeah.
I suggest that you go and download it because, you know, as you're typing, you obviously make mistakes, but it switches them for you. It kind of helps you change it around and make sure that you're being professional on all platforms. It applies to your email. This description you kind of want to keep short, and there is an option to make a longer description later. So let's leave this, and once more, you can always go and edit it, but we'll create our page. And you see over here, it's all kind of starting to flow in. So our page was created.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So can I add more than one category?
I think that you can add 2 categories.
What if we added 3?
Wow.
Let's see. We're a real estate
Of course, he's got to push.
company.
Of course, pushing the limits.
Yeah, we can add actually, well, you can choose up to 3.
That's awesome.
Very good question.
Good question.
And if anyone else has any questions, Sergio is monitoring this. So if you feel like you're stuck, feel free to kind of pop in because maybe other people are stuck on that same part. Your profile picture, I took the liberty of going through and taking, where are we? Taking our standard nice little photo over here. It is important to make sure that you have a nice professional photo of yourself. And Sergio, I think one of his projects is that he wants to go through and set up a little photo booth. So maybe we could take advantage of that in the future.
Awesome. That would be
That would be great.
That would be great. Is that part of the Marlboro Media Lab that we're working on, or is that just going to be something online?
It's up in the air.
Hey, that's great. Awesome.
Anything is possible.
But notice the white background over here. That is something that you can do with Canva Pro. So that's another reason why it's helpful to get the paid version of Canva, because you can kind of clear out the background and make it a little more crisp and clear. So we see we've got our profile picture and we perhaps want a cover photo. See how this background is kind of gray and empty and weird? Well, we made one for you.
Thank you.
I'm over here in Jostle.
Okay.
And feel free to head over and pull this up yourself. And let's see, we're in November. So we're in December. We already pulled out our January ones, but perhaps you want to put one in for the end of December. We can see our December social media posts are right here. And if I wanted to customize it in Canva, I would click here, but perhaps just to try to keep everything as simple as possible, we'll click on our Google Drive and we can pull it up. And down here at the bottom, we've got our December Facebook cover. And it looks really good.
Nice.
Sergio edited this for me, so we know it's really nice.
So you have to remember to update this monthly.
Yeah, we do have to remember to update it monthly.
Yep. I do believe we have generic ones in the career den. I think it's in the library, I believe. Or you can put whatever you want.
Yeah, you can put whatever you want. And you could also go and, maybe if you have your own logo, you could change the corner, but that would be something that you'd want to do in Canva.
I actually get a cut out to December, so I can leave this, I'm sure, until like probably May.
Yeah, I think that it's just the way that the preview is looking because
looks
Canva's
awesome. Looks
pretty
great.
good.
Looks very cool.
Yeah, so we've got this all in, we're gonna save it, and then we're gonna start getting into the nitty gritty. If you're following along, then you see that we're kind of probably caught up to where you
Nice.
were.
Yep.
But now we need to kind of finish setting up our page. And if you're creating a new one, it gives you this little set up your page for success thing, which you can follow along with the steps. But notice we've got some empty categories over here that we want to make sure that we're filled up. So this username part is super important. When you want to share your Facebook link with somebody, you can type in facebook.com/whatever you want to show up. This you can change, but it is a little more difficult. So perhaps just consider using your name. That way you don't have to worry if you ever decide to make any changes. And then we want to start filling out all of our information down here. We've got our phone number. If you want them to be able to contact you, would you like your phone number to be public? Maybe an office
Probably
number?
the office number would be great.
Okay, what's your office number?
I'm not quite sure yet because we have a phone thing going on, but
Okay.
let's just, is it okay to leave that blank for now?
Yeah, so if we feel like leaving
I'll
it blank,
edit
we
later.
just click this little button right here and maybe make a note so that you can edit it later in the
Absolutely.
future. And you've got your email, and this is important for people to be able to contact you. And your location could also be your office. Is your office moving, or are you?
It's 414 Main Street. I'm sorry. In Melrose.
And zip code there?
It's 02167.
Once more, filling out all this information makes you more searchable, which is very helpful. If you keep regular office hours, it's nice to put this in right here. And if you want to put a longer description, this is where you would add it. So you see you've got a 10,000 character limit. You can put as much as you want. If you were trying to sell a product, you could put that there. And this also allows you to link other accounts. So we can talk about Instagram and stuff like that later in the future. So we're pretty good. Reach more audience by completing your page. Let's see what else it wants. And it's really helpful. So Facebook changes all the time. And all these little updates, they may, our page isn't eligible for this username. Maybe we'll have to add layer.
Do Crispbert's 1.7 maybe? If that's
Not available.
Let's click and keep on going through and see what happens once we.
So we have a question from Michael Maloon. Can I use my Boston Logic website?
Can you use your Boston? Oh yeah, that would be perfect to attach it on in there. That would make it specific going over to you. So that would be helpful rather than having it go to the main layer website. Very good question. Does anyone else feel like they're stuck on anything? Are we doing pretty good so far?
Nope. I mean, I'm good.
Awesome. So like I said, Facebook does change and make little updates. So perhaps if you're watching this video in the future, a few things might be different, but usually the updates are pretty intuitive and they're really helpful. So just take some time to explore whatever you see around here and you'll be able to find it.
We have a question from Tracy. How would I edit a comma in my name if
that's a really good question. Let's go over to so if you go to business.facebook.com, this is the nice little area where we can see what's going on a little bit better. And this is one of the benefits of having one of these business pages. And it does allow you to change your settings. And once more, I'm on Facebook every day and it changes everything just a little bit. So sometimes it takes a little bit to figure out how to get there. Okay, so I know I just clicked through really fast, but go to business.facebook.com, click on settings, and you're gonna eventually find your way to this page right here. And if we click on page info, we'll be able to find an area. And so I know that when you want to change your name, it does take a couple of days for it to go through. Let's see. This is a very good question. It's nice to have a good challenge.
Yeah, it feels like these little things come up. And like you said, I feel like there's updates, little tiny updates daily.
Yeah. Let's see if we can do it through this way. So I'm back at the normal Facebook, facebook.com, and I'm clicking through and notice I have a ridiculous amount of pages going on over here. Find our new page this way. Oh, is this your page that you created that you didn't do anything with?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll delete that later.
Yeah, thanks. Is the page that you created that you didn't do anything on? Thanks, Don. Get that little jab in there while you can, right?
Yeah, and I can show you how to delete those things too.
Thank you. Well, your page already that you created for me is 10 times better than what I started.
It's
So
really
thank you.
Nice. So I might have to put this question off for a little bit and do a little exploring so I don't waste everyone else's time, but I will create a Loom video once I figure that out to be able to adjust it. And I know that you can change the name. I know that you can only change it a certain number of times, and it does take a couple of days for it to go through. So it's definitely possible. It's just a little slower and tricky. But if you have a comment in there, it is a good challenge. It is worth doing. You'll notice when somebody's trying to tag you, they kind of lose that tag. So I'll make a note of getting back to you. A really good question. I want to show you how to make a general post. So let's say that we want to post one of our posts that we created for you in Jostle. And I already, let's see, we'll go over here. And once more, I'm not going to get into the Canva and editing things. I don't want to make it too confusing, but if people are interested in seeing that again, then I'm totally ready, willing, and able to show you how to change anything that you want over here in Canva. But it is Happy Ugly Sweater Day today, so this is pretty good. We had a really fun ugly sweater contest last night during our holiday party.
The winner was unbelievable.
It was really great. It wouldn't be appropriate for our ugly sweater day picture, though.
No, I didn't know if that'd be a good background for my business page profile.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Probably not. You were right.
But I'm over here at business.facebook.com. We're looking at our page and we want to create a post through this nice blue button right here. And because today is Ugly Sweater Day, we're going to just make a post that we will put up for right now. And then I'll show you how to schedule one for later after that. Notice it does have this little Instagram button right here. So we can do another one where we show you how to set up an Instagram, and you can actually connect them together. So you can post both at the same time, which is super convenient. And you can type in some text. So Happy Ugly Sweater Day. Maybe you want to put an emoji in. And if we are ready, we can hit publish right here. So you made your first post.
Awesome. Thank you.
And it was pretty painless. Maybe we want to create a post that we're going to schedule for later. Oh, look, I got all this info over here. So I let's say that you downloaded one of the testimonials that we created for you.
So just a reminder, she's doing this on the business back end of Facebook. So it's business.facebook.com. The first time you visit, it might have you make like an account or something. So I think it's you just kind of follow the steps and it'll get you there. But once you're in, you can go on your page and you'll see everything that Dom is looking at right now.
Thanks, Sergio. Does everybody feel like they're caught up? Does anyone have any questions? Awesome. So let's say I downloaded this testimonial from my email. It's actually a really good one. And we want to post this up for later. Thanks out to my amazing clients for this awesome review. And I'm a big fan of emojis. I am a millennial, so, you know, got to put some in there. Maybe we can find your little lion.
You can also tag the client too if I would ask them first though.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to tag people when you're on a business page.
So there's a quick question. Is this my current connections are seeing this? Is this going through? So I have to add a bunch of new people to this page. Or this isn't taking from my personal page and bringing contacts over, is it?
Yep, very good question. No, it's not. So
okay, so
you
I have to
are going to
rebuild
have to build this audience.
Cool.
And there's plenty of ways to do it. One of them is through simply just sharing your business page on your personal page and kind of inviting them over. And I can connect you to this page later. Facebook does also prompt you to invite your friends, and you can only do so many a day. So maybe you could invite 25 a day and kind of slowly build your page up from there.
Awesome.
We have this nice little testimonial right here. And I already made a post today. You don't want to make a whole bunch of posts all in a row because you'll fill everybody's news feed. So let's say I want to do this for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Saturday. Maybe everybody wakes up a little later to check it. So let's say we're going to schedule this post for the future, and it's going to come up tomorrow at 10 a.m. And we can schedule this post. And we can check it out. Here's our little preview. Oh, look at this.
That's beautiful.
Nice testimonial from your very impressed customer on your strong social media skills, right?
Awesome.
Let's go through this a couple more times just so that everyone has a good look on it. So once more, we're back here. We're at business.facebook.com. Over here, we can see what we're doing. We can see our recent posts and how well it's doing. Once you start building up your fan base, this has a lot of insights for you. I'll show you from another page that's been going a little bit more. But let's say that I want to create a post and I have an open house that's going on tonight. I mean, that's going on this weekend. And I want to post it tonight because it's Friday. I want everybody to know about my open house tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna, I downloaded part of the bundle that we send out to you. And I'm gonna say open house this Saturday from 12 to 2. See you there. Perhaps you could give some more information about the address, any details that you might want to give, wearing masks or any kind of COVID regulations that you want people to follow. We found our lion emoji. And we want to schedule this for tonight. So we'll go ahead through, schedule it for tonight so that it'll pop up as everybody is getting home from work. And then they'll be able to think about going to our open house tomorrow. How's everybody feeling? Pretty caught up so far?
It's awesome.
Any
So
questions in our chat?
Sherry asked, where is the
Mhm.
testimonial template found? I just pasted in a link to Canva. So this version, you can use the free version of Canva to modify the template.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's in the
But we
chat.
do create those for you. So
Yeah,
you,
if you do get a review coming in, we will make it automatically for you, and Dom will send it over to you. But if you have like a one that you had like a few years ago and you want to make your own, I just put the link in there.
yes. Thanks, Sergio. And that's an awesome question. So we are happy to make it for you, or if you want to make your own, whatever works. So here we are over at business.facebook.com, and let's get into our settings for a minute. So we can see that I'm an admin on Chris's page. So we have our left sidebar over here, we have our settings, and we can see our admin. Perhaps your goal isn't to run your own Facebook page. You wanted to hire somebody to run it for you. You do want to do all the parts that I talked about before on your own, but you can add other people to be able to run it. So this is important because now you have control on who can get in and out of your page.
Oh, can I run it?
Can you run it? Yeah. So we're going to add Sergio and Al to run Chris's page.
Perfect.
And it's going to go really well.
Perfect.
But when you're over here, what's your Facebook name? Are you a whole?
I think it's Christopher.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Christopher.
There you just had it. There you go.
You do typically have to be Facebook friends with the person that you're adding this admin to. So you have to go over, add them on your personal page so it'll pop up. But you have different allowances. So an admin, they have full control. An editor, they can kind of go through and edit things, but they can't add more people. Moderator, advertiser. So think about how much control you want that person to have over your business, and then give them the appropriate amount. It wants to make sure that you're secure.
So one of the other benefits of this is if you're working with someone and you're not happy with them, you can just kick them off your page very easily. You can revoke their access and you're done.
Yeah, and that is important because I think that sometimes people forget to go through that part. Maybe you're not doing business with them anymore and you don't want them to be on it. So make sure to go through and see who has controls over your page, because that is the way that you're representing yourself to the public, and it is pretty important. Does everybody feel like they're pretty caught up right now?
No questions?
No questions.
No questions. Perfect. Let's look at the analytics of another page that's been running for a little bit, just so that you can have an idea on what it would look like, because these insights are really important. You can see how people like your posts, what kind of posts do better or worse, and then you can adjust your content accordingly. Or if you're having somebody else run it, then you can work with them to create a business plan that works best for you. So here's our layer page, and here's our recent posts, and we have a very good idea on what people like. So our sweater day post went out this morning at 8 a.m. It's reached 31 people. It's a pretty new post. 146 people like maple syrup. But we can see that our top fives get a whole bunch of reach and engagement. So 1,803 people reached that. We got 36 comments, and it gives us a really good idea on what kind of content people enjoy. And we can kind of work our whole business plan around that. There's a whole bunch of other things that we can do with our page. And I don't want to overwhelm everyone, but I did want to talk about creating events and going live on Facebook, because those are different ways that you can pull your audience in. You can also boost posts by adding money. which is another thing that you
It's
can,
super cheap. I mean, it's not that expensive to boost your posts.
totally. So let's look at, so we're over here on the layer page. I'm under the posts category, and we can see where our posts are going. We've got all of our detail and engagement. And let's pretend that I wanted to boost this post. I thought this is a really great post. I want to put a little bit of money into it. You can add a button. So perhaps your button would be your website. If you're going, you can hit learn more and you can add your website on there. If you put a new listing up, it's a really nice listing. You put a direct link to the listing so that they can click on it to get some more information, and you can get insights on how many people clicked on it. And you can choose a very specific audience, which I think is really awesome. You can choose the age range. Perhaps this is a really nice listing and you think perhaps maybe we're looking for an older audience. You can choose the gender of the audience. You can add demographics, interests, or behaviors. Perhaps.
Sorry, Dom, but one thing to do note is because you're in real estate, you're kind of limited by how much targeting you can do. So there is a chance that your ad may fail because your targeting was a little too specific. Because as a real estate agent, you do have to follow certain, equal housing and all those kind of rules. So I would just be a little broad, kind of err in the side of more general than that. But again, if your ad fails, you can always go back and change it. So one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind with these ads is that you can't, well, first let's just finish this. So let's say we really want people that like swimming, for instance, that it has a pool, they've got an interest in swimming. You can add all these interests in there to really target your group. Facebook does have also a limitation on how much text can be on the picture to boost a post. So if you're finding that your boosting posts are not going through all the way, it could be some kind of issue like Sergio mentioned, or there could be too much of a percentage of text on your post. So perhaps consider just doing a picture of your listing or a couple pictures of your listings, and that might help you along a little bit. But these posts and the boosting is a really great tool. You can put as little as $5 on a post and you get a lot of feedback and interaction from that. How are we feeling so far?
Let's see, no questions yet. If you guys have any questions, feel free.
Once more, Facebook, you can do a whole bunch with it, and I don't want to overwhelm everyone. So we can do a whole bunch of different classes so that you can get into more specific things. But going live on Facebook is a really big thing right now. And I thought it would be helpful to just show you how to do that. Perhaps you have a new listing and you want to give everybody a live tour of the house. You can go to your Facebook page and just pretend you're creating a post. And it's a little different on a phone. If you're on a phone or a tablet, sometimes honestly the camera is a little bit better and it's set up a little bit different. But if you're on a computer, you can hit live right here and you'll actually go live and people can comment and check it out just like you are right now through our Facebook group. Facebook does give everybody notifications when you're going live, which is very helpful. It shows up in the analytics a little bit more.
I do recommend doing it with your phone. It's much easier than trying to do it with desktop, and the camera quality is much better.
Yeah, and you can travel around with it a little bit easier if you're trying to give a tour or something like that.
Yep.
If you have an open house and you want to create an event, you can create an event through your page. And you can also boost these events. but notice Facebook just creates this little sidebar over here. That way you just follow the steps, your event's created, and it actually shows the location of your event shows up on the Facebook pages of the people that are nearby to that event. So it's more using what Facebook gives you and to your advantage to kind of help boost what you're doing. What do we think? Do we want to keep going? I have more things I can talk about, but I don't want to be super overwhelming to everyone.
Do you want to? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sergio.
I know. I think. How about if we open it kind of to some questions? If you guys have any questions, you can let us know either in the chat or you can raise your hand, and I can actually let you speak.
Ooh, okay. So also, I just figured out how we can change our page name. So we're at facebook.com, and I'm just looking at my main page, and I gotta move Sergio's little head. We got to we got to go into our page, and the settings over here, edit page info, and this is how we change our name right here. You can
So manage page down to edit page info. Okay.
Edit page info.
Mm-hmm.
Got the answer to your question, and we can look at the details on how much you change it. I'm pretty sure it'll give you a little notification telling you it takes a couple of days for the change to take place, and you can only change it a certain number of times. So just be thoughtful about it. You don't want to try to change it over and over again.
So Dom, what's the biggest difference between the business page and a personal page? Is it essentially the same setup and has the same attributes and resources as a personal page, or what makes it different than a personal page?
Really good question. So first of all, you're much more searchable. Second of all, you get that whole business analytics section, including the boosting the posts. So that is really going to make a huge difference for you. And the searchable part as well. It definitely makes you look a lot more professional. And I think you're a lot more likely to have your clients follow you versus having them friend request you on your personal page. Usually we want to keep a little bit of a separation there. So it allows you to build more of a professional following.
We have a question from Miriam on Facebook. It says, how would you suggest to create it for a team?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, honestly, if you are a team and an independent agent, I recommend having one for each. So perhaps a team could have one that they all share together, and then they could all be admins on that. And then you have your own page just for yourself as an agent. That's a very good question. So your team page would be just the same. You go through the whole same steps. Perhaps you'd have your team logo right here and the team name, and it would work just the same as all the information that we just did earlier. That's an awesome question.
Yeah, and make your personal page more private and less public if you're going to talk about politics or religion or other agents. I would advise not doing that in general, but if you really feel this is the only place you can vent, then do that on your personal page and keep it private.
Yeah, you have the ability to really lock up the settings on your personal page so that you have absolute control on who sees what. And I recommend, you're a professional, so I recommend really locking it up. Or if you're using your personal page to do a little bit of business as well, then make sure to keep it about business or only things that you want all of the public to be able to see.
We have a question from Julia. If I go on my personal page, from there, I can create a page with the same login. Yes.
Business page, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to create a business page, you do need a personal page. Regardless whether or not you want a personal page, you do need a personal page to create a business page. Another advantage of the business page is that people will like your page, but you're not friends, right? So you don't see their feed come in, whoever likes your page just likes your page. You don't see anything from them unless they post on like directly on your page, and you can control that too.
Awesome questions.
We have another question from Miriam. Can you explain boosting to avoid a charge by clicks?
I thought you just paid for campaign lengths, but
Boosting to avoid a charge by clicks. So you don't get charged by the clicks. You
Yeah.
get charged. You pick an amount, and it caps it off at that amount, so it will never go over. So you don't have to worry about if you're the post that you're boosting, it's doing really, really well. You don't get charged extra because of that. Does that make sense?
you
That's
just set
very
a
good
set
question.
amount for your campaign. If it's $30, it stops at $30 for whatever they're going to promote.
Exactly.
Another question from Julia. On my business page, will people be able to post on my page like they do on my personal page? You can actually control that, right, Dom?
Yeah, so you see we've got this little review section over here, and people can leave you reviews, which is really helpful. But in your settings, you can also control if you want people to be able to. So over here, we're on our page settings, and let's just look at this. Our page is published, and right here, visitor posts. Anyone can publish to the page, and anyone can add photos or videos to the page. So this is a great setting. We're nice and open, and we're allowing anybody to do things.
I always do review posts by other people.
Perhaps we want a little bit of control, which we definitely do.
Yeah.
So we can click this button right here. Or perhaps you're not really sure you want other people to, you can disable the posts. Very good.
And a question from Sherry. How much do you suggest to spend on a boost? Is there an average?
There isn't an average. I think usually it starts at $5 and you can go up from there. You can also change it to have the post be boosted for a day or a week, depending on how long you want to be doing that advertisement. If you have an open house this weekend and you're boosting the post on Friday, perhaps you just want to do a day, but you can extend it out for a little while.
And if you know you're having an open house coming up, you can set up sort of the drip campaigner that you can schedule your post, correct?
Yes, definitely. So you pre-schedule the post just like we went through in our business page.
Yeah, I do suggest making it as part of a campaign, the boosting. That way you have a better idea of what your goals are for the boost. So you can boost a random post, but there's no real benefit or tangible benefit. So when it's part of a campaign, like you know what your goals are.
Yeah, and with your business page rather than the personal page, you can sort of look at the analytics and see what's working, what's not, who's clicking, who's not. So that's the biggest advantage I'm seeing from the business pages. We're in the business of tracking numbers and tracking clients and sort of staying on top of people, being top of mind. So knowing who is actually clicking, that is a good sort of resource, where to go to sort of follow up with people.
Yeah, and one more thing that we didn't quite mention is that Facebook's really trying to clamp down on people advertising and doing business on personal pages. So you can Facebook will stop showing your posts if you're doing too much, and it can actually lock you out of your account. If you're running too much business on your personal page, it'll either force you to move over to a business page or lock your account in that way. Also, just in regards to having family and friends on your personal page, sometimes that can be a little annoying and frustrating to see somebody's business flow through there all the time when really you're just going on there to make connections and to catch up with family and friends. So you want to be considerate about how much business you are posting over there. Perhaps consider sharing some of your business there. But if you want to use your personal page to build your business page, you can give them a little bit more behind the scenes looks into what you're doing, things that you're not sharing on your business page, but are a little bit more personal, and that wraps it back around again to help your business.
Cool. And maybe one last question. Do you suggest I add my phone number on my business page?
I do suggest it as long as your phone number, you're keeping it professional. If you have a professional voicemail and you're always answering that as a professional, then definitely. If you don't have, if you're using your phone number for personal reasons, then perhaps consider not attaching that.
Yeah, it's always, I think, always wise to have the business phone on there, because we can filter it through the office to you. Which I will add my phone number on there. So please don't bring that up, Dom.
Yeah,
I was giving you an opportunity for
your
another
other one. And if you are going through and you find that you have a page that you don't want anymore, so let's say you're on your personal page, you're over here in this little blue Facebook section, and we're looking at our page, and there's a page that we don't want anymore. So let's pretend that we found Chris's old Facebook page that's floating around. You can go into the settings, and at the bottom, you can delete your page. So you can go through,
Awesome.
clean it all out, make sure that people aren't finding a funny old page in their searches on you.
Awesome.
That was really informative.
Yeah. And I'm happy to do any other workshops on anything else that you're interested in. Facebook does have a whole bunch of tools available. I just wanted to kind of keep this basic so it's not overwhelming to the people that are just starting. If you just put in a little bit of time every week into checking out your page, seeing what your audience is looking at, and getting a good idea on what people like, you can really go pretty far with it. It doesn't have to be an all-encompassing every hour going on and checking. Just do a little bit every week, and you'll find that your page builds quite nicely.
Or hire someone else to do it.
Or hire someone else to do it, and we showed you how to add them in there. But even if you're hiring someone else to do it, you do want to do those first beginning steps yourself, and you want to make sure that you have control of what your page is doing.
Yeah.
And by the way, the marketing, Dom and Sergio have created all the templates for you to access and to put on your page. So I would keep it sort of professional, keep it professional looking, make sure that it's mainstreamed and streamlined for your business. But there's so many awesome posts that are already created for you. So utilize them, and they're updated. I mean, they're current.
Definitely.
They are where? In resources, yes?
So all of our posts are right up in Jostle.
Jostle, yep.
But we're also creating all those bundles for you all the time, and those are all manually created, and they're very specific to all your new listings. So I think that it's such a great opportunity to take those bundles and post them up on your page. It only take you a few minutes to do, and you're using your page to advertise your work a lot better in a branded sort of manner. So it all fits with the Lara theme. It all matches, and it's nice and professional.
Wonderful.
Let's see. I think I'm out of questions here.
Yeah, and if anybody has any other questions, we're going to post this up on the Facebook group, so feel free to type those in there. I'll try to type up a description, or I can always make a little video so that you can follow along and adjust any settings or do anything that you want through your page.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for doing my page. It looks awesome.
Totally. We'll
And
go
I
through
really-
and delete your other one later.
Yeah. Well, now I know how to do it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being the guinea pig.
Hey,
And
anytime.
thanks to Sergio for doing what he does.
Yeah,
Always.
when he reads the questions, it's just like last night for bingo when you reread the numbers. I get goosebumps. It's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're lucky to have you, Sergio.
And you, Dom. Thank you, guys. This is great.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.